Hi and welcome to another Pizza Ramblings. So recently we've done lots of videos about fermentations and different flours and so on and so forth, but pizza isn't all just about dough. So today we're going to do something different. We're going to make some hot honey. This is simply some runny honey from the supermarket and a Scotch bonnet chilli or any other chilli that you can get hold of. Let's have a look at what we need to make this stuff. So, in a nutshell, we don't need a lot. This is just some bog standard honey from Lidl's. It's quite a big chunk, 680 grams, but you don't need that much. I've made this a lot smaller. A Scotch bonnet chilli, but any chilli will do. That was what I could get hold of. I've made this once before and it was mega, and that's what I used before. We need a sieve, we need a funnel, and a pan to cook it in. That's all we need, so let's get started. So the first port of call really is get your honey in the pan. This stuff is runny, but it will take a little bit of time just to get the whole tub in there. So that's what I'm going to start doing now. I'm just going to leave it in here, try and angle it if I can, like so. So it's just angled, and we're just going to let that drip out. So we'll leave that running at the side. In the meantime, we need to chop up this chilli. I'm going to start by getting rid of that bit. Now we can leave all the seeds, anything to make this as strong as it can be really in such a short period of time, but it depends on your taste to chilies. But just chop it up into small bits. Now last time I did this, it wasn't in as much honey, but it literally took a few minutes before the chilli was infused right into the honey. It literally did not take long, and of course watch what you're doing with your fingers after you've chopped that up, because you'll know about it. So I'm not sure how long I'm going to need to leave it this time in this bigger chunk of honey that I've got. It's still coming out, so like I said, it takes a bit of time. It's really nice. I once bought this from a place in London. I think it was called Hot Honey or something. I've still got it. Moon Honey, and it was really nice. But it was made in London from honey from London honeybees. But it's not cheap, so you can make your own. And this is what we're doing here. This stuff is addictive. I find that I have it on the shelf in the kitchen. And many a time I'll just walk past it in the middle of the day and think, oh, and I'll squeeze a bit on my finger, shove it in my mouth, and the sweet taste and then that lovely chili kick that you get with it. It's really nice stuff. Okay, so that's pretty much all the honey out into here. So we're gonna throw the chilies in. And that's now time to cook these and boil them up. Okay, so we have the flame lit, and all we need to do is, it doesn't seem to make much sense boiling honey. You would expect it to stick and burn and all that kinds of stuff, but it's actually not that bad. We will have to keep stirring it, and what we're going to have to do is periodically take a teaspoon and pull some out, let it cool down slightly, and then sample it to see whether it's got enough chili taste for you. And if it has, then we just need to stop the process and filter out the chilies. It actually goes very runny when it boils. So the other thing to note about this stuff, when I've made it in the past, after you've made it, maybe a few weeks later, you might find it starts to solidify in your tub. And previously I threw it away when it did that. But what I have since learnt, and I did do it on my last batch of this stuff, was that you just need to reheat it again. So once you reheat it, it just goes back to liquid, and then you can squeeze it back out of your tub again. You can see now it's becoming quite runny. We don't need to boil this too much, we just need it to simmer for a bit. There's a nice smell coming from it now. You really need to try it, I promise you. It's really, really, really nice. The sweet with the heat. Starting to simmer. Don't worry about those seeds because we'll filter those out shortly. I guess you can use any kind of chilli, milder ones I guess if you don't want too much heat. But I'll be honest, when you spray it and squirt it all over your pizza, which I do from time to time, put a nice good thick zigzag of this stuff on top, you don't really notice the heat overly much with the rest of the pizza. It's subtle with the rest of your ingredients, so I like this stuff to be quite warm. As you can see now, it's like almost like water now. It's very, very runny. So I'm going to take a small teaspoon of this stuff now, let it cool down a little bit. See, now it's starting to simmer up good style. So now we're going to back the heat down a little bit, which doesn't seem to be working very quickly at the moment. So I'm just going to keep stirring it. Wow, I can smell those chilies now. Take that off the heat, I think. I can smell the chili now. Wow, you wouldn't want to stick that on your hand, would you? Right, so that's got a lovely kick to it, that right now. I'm going to fire that off the heat now. We don't need any more heat. I'm going to say that's job done. That's got a real nice warm kick to it. It's clearly still bubbling away, so the next thing to do is just to leave this to cool down for a good, probably a half an hour. Actually, maybe less, but till it stopped bubbling and being a bit of a health hazard. If you spilt this on you now, it's a hospital job. So we'll let this cool down a little bit because we want to filter it out. So it needs to run smoothly through the sieve. So I guess while it's as liquidy as it is, that will be a good time to get it through the sieve. So we'll come back in a few minutes when that's simmered down. Okay, so I've got my sieve over another pan, and now, whilst it's still quite runny, we will throw it through the sieve. And now it's just a case of letting this cool down, because we want to get this back into the original tub, and the original tub is plastic, and as this currently stands it will melt and deform that plastic, so we need to let it cool right down. Okay, so this is ready to get back in the tub. There's some remains that have dropped down where I didn't get it all out originally, but that doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this tub to hold that. Now I've got my funnel, and then it's just going to be a case of transferring like I say, don't do this when it's hot because it will deform the plastic squeezy tub that your honey came in. I have done it myself in the past, so I know. Okay, what I'm going to do now, to find the spatula, is just try and get the remainders to the bottom. Okay, there's not much left now. I accidentally rubbed underneath my nostril before, and I must have had a bit of honey on my finger or something because I washed my hands after the chillies, but it's quite warm, shall I say, in the nostril area. And there we have it. So yeah, you lose a little bit here and there with you transferring it from tub to tub. But there we go. There's the lid. Bingo, hot honey. Like I say, it might solidify in a couple of weeks. Just heat a pan up of water, drop it back in. Not too hot so you don't melt the plastic, but it doesn't have to be boiling to get it runny again. So yeah, there we go. Get it done. It's nice and easy, pretty cheap to do, probably less than a £5. And it's really, really nice on your pizza. Okay, take care. Cheers.